basis of self-improvement is summed up with this experiment, and it's called the marshmallow experiment. Experimenters put children into one room each and placed a marshmallow in front of them. Then they told the children that they had to leave for 15 minutes and they could eat the marshmallow if they wanted to. But if they would wait for those 15 minutes, then they would get another marshmallow. So it's basically instant versus delayed gratification. After the experiment, the experimenters still kept in touch with the children, and they actually found out that the children who delayed gratification, the children who waited 15 minutes for the second marshmallow, those were actually much more successful and happy in life. So this of course leads to this question: how much comfort are you willing to sacrifice for your future self? Let me illustrate the consequences of the choices of what habits you can make. Based on this chart, I'm going to explain how your happiness is affected by your habits, starting with the bad habits. And I do know that serotonin represents your happiness, but I'm going to use dopamine because everyone gets it. So you basically have this baseline of dopamine that's usually the same. And when you do a bad habit, then let's say for example you jack off, then you have a spike of dopamine, and then after you have this high after you've jacked off or after you ate the junk food, your dopamine level will drop, so your happiness will drop and even below the baseline that was before you did the bad habit. And then it stays at this new level, and whenever you do more bad habits, so now we've said that you jacked off, let's say you're now going to eat junk food, then the same is going to happen again. So spike followed by a drop below the recent baseline. And if you're going to do that for many years and also input playing video games and scrolling on social media, then it will just continue going down until you're at this completely super low. Your happiness will completely fall to almost zero. I mean, think about it. As kids, we were way happier. Well, not only because we had no troubles, but also because we had a healthy baseline of happiness. But now most people watch TikToks that have half of the screen Minecraft gameplay and the other half is the Reddit story, and that's what happens when you have fucked up dopamine levels. And now let's look at what happens when you do good habits. So when you do, let's say you want to take a cold shower, you feel pain because you don't want to get into a cold shower. That's why your dopamine level goes below baseline for a short time. But after you get out of the cold shower, your baseline rises actually above the current one, because you will feel good and confident that you did this activity even though you didn't want to. And that also compounds just like with the bad habits. So for example, let's say you go to the gym for the first time and you've never done it before. At first your dopamine levels drop because you feel uncomfortable, you've never been in this environment, and well, it's physically exhausting. And then after that your baseline rises again above, and that happens if you do it for years. It also compounds, it always goes higher. So you should prioritize your future self and do the hard work for his reward. And also your feelings don't matter because, well, they're just feelings. You can still do the right thing. So you can feel like not taking a cold shower, but you still do it because you know that you're going to regret it otherwise. Millions of people go to the gym, and no one who consistently works out regrets it. So you should sacrifice your life for the life of your future self, because one day you're going to wake up as your future self, and you're going to wish that your past self has set you up for success and not for failure. For me, for example, when I was a kid, I always wanted to have a good body. I always wanted to be like shredded. But I prioritized playing video games, so having fun with my friends. And a few years later, of course, I hated myself since I didn't do the thing that I wanted to do most. Instead, I sacrificed the dream that I wanted to achieve for some instant fun. And once I gave up that fun for the thing that I wanted most, so going to the gym and improving myself, of course I started to like myself more, grew more confident, and looking back, I'm actually even grateful for that experience, because I don't know if otherwise I would be on this path of self-improvement. At some point, hard work is just going to be fun. Just like any alcoholic is depressed and unhappy when drinking, and also in any part of life, because his baseline is like right here at the bottom. I'm happy while doing hard work and also in any part of my life, since my baseline is way above his. There was also this quote of sacrifice your 20s for the rest of your life. And I would even go further, like I would say the moment you discover self-improvement should be the start of your journey where you're sacrificing your life for your future self. Because, well, that's the basis of self-improvement, delaying gratification. Because if you do the bad habits for like all your 20s, like I know many people who do nothing but work in a low income job, party, take drugs, play video games, scroll on social media, of course that will compound and their happiness will go down. And the same is also true if you do good habits for many years, because they will also compound, then your happiness will skyrocket. And then there's also this awesome quote that reads, wherever you are in life, your past actions have led you there. Not everything has to be your fault, but it is your responsibility. Basically, you are currently living the consequences of your actions. And if you're not happy with your life right now, so with the consequences, then you should change what you do. You should change your actions so that you don't live this kind of a life anymore. The pleasure of doing the bad habits goes away pretty quickly. Like once you eat junk food, like 10 seconds later, you don't feel happy anymore. And so does the pain of doing the good habits. Because just like I said with the cold shower, you don't feel like going into the cold shower, but after you did it, your baseline of happiness rises. So let me ask you again, how much comfort are you willing to sacrifice for your future self? Take action.